My name is Taylor Self, and I'm doing drugs. My knee's been with me for a long time because I fucked it up. And Biomax peptides are going to make it better.
Taylor found a homeless man on Craigslist to help him learn how to do this. And they made this video to show you how. It worked out pretty well. The guy brought his own, only partially used needle.
Nice. That's crazy. I didn't feel the needle at all. I felt the injection just a little bit.
Jeez.
Nice.
Your skin is so f***ing thick.
Well, there's a lot of scar tissue there on that side, especially, I'm sure. That really didn't hurt. That was crazy. So we do that every night? Mm-hmm. Okay,
for
cool.
Like 3-4 weeks.
If you thought it was hard to kill Taylor before this, well, then it looks like you don't have a chance in hell now. You'd better ask to see the manager, uncle. Biomax peptides, because Sevi and Hiller said so.
Welcome to the post-event. Welcome to the post-event recap of event number 8, 2025 CrossFit Games. Thank you to Biomax Peptides. You can go to biomaxpeptides.com and use games for 10% off. Some barriostatic water, yes, and free shipping, which is pretty cool. All right, we'll start with the ladies. I mean, we get out of the way nice and early. Tia Toomey put on an absolute clinic on how to just motor through a workout and leave everyone else just struggling behind. Grace Walton, is there a theme there, JR? Christina Levitakis sets the time to beat. Grace Walton beats that, sets the time to beat. Tia Toomey beats that. Lucy McGonigal beats that.
I think they were all top 10, but I think 3 of them were top 5, right? In the workout.
Yeah. So all proven females. So is it just fair to say the proven really work deficit handstand push-ups and pressing?
I think so, and maybe specifically parallel. You know, parallel is one of those movements that from the first time we really saw, I mean, they were used way back in the day, like in the early games at the ranch. But the first time a lot of people remember them was in Pedal to the Metal 1 and 2. That was in 2015. The pegboard kind of stole the show, but the parallel handstand push-up, remember, was where Matt went to failure, and Ben was able to kind of take that first title. Especially when they're at a real big deficit. Like I think they said, the broadcast, Chase said that the women were like 10.5 and the men looked like it was about 13. Maybe that pad that they used was an inch or so. It really levels the playing field with the smaller, shorter limbed athletes. And you still can have people like Austin that can kind of just overcome that and still be the best in the field at handstand push-ups. But I think Tia kind of showed the same thing. Like, it really doesn't matter what kind of handstand push-up it is. I'm still the best.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it was a little bit of a different workout for the women than the men, which I'm okay with because the crux of the workout is still the handstand push-ups.
Right.
How good you were at the handstand push-ups is how good you were going to be in the workout. But for the men, I think the bike matters a ton.
Yeah.
Because
The second bike.
right, the second bike specifically. And JR looked at me and he goes, he needs 30 seconds. Austin Hatfield needs 30 seconds.
And he probably had less than that, right?
I mean, I think it was almost spot on.
Was it?
Like,
Okay.
put with Jay less
No,
than that?
but I
with
mean,
Jason, the guy who got second, I do think it was about 30 seconds.
But it wasn't like Jason was about to catch him.
True,
You
he
know?
was like
he
5.
was still like 5 cows ahead.
Dude, if it was 60 cows, I think I'm giving it to Jason.
Well, yeah, but
Like,
I mean,
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Jason started humming, and I was scared.
Yeah, I mean, Jason got on the bike. I think Ricky was already there. Austin was already there. Jay was already there. But then James and Dallin got on the bike like maybe 5 or 6 seconds after Jason. I was like, hey.
Healed
But
back
he
in.
just kind
But
of
we're
like.
gonna go back to the ladies.
Yeah,
We're supposed to talk about the
Yeah.
ladies. We just came off of the men, so we're
pretty amped because it was
Pause.
a pretty special finale.
Yeah.
Go on ahead. What were we going to say?
we're gonna get back to the ladies. That's what we're talking about. The handstand push-ups was definitely the crux of the workout, but like you said, working parallettes, you would expect Ariel Lowen to be good at this workout.
I would have expected that. Yes.
She's been great at almost every handstand push-up workout she's ever we've seen from her, and it might have been her worst handstand push-up workout she's had, at least in the games. And I mean, it's a 14th place. That doesn't look that bad. But Amy Kringle, who was beneath her by like 10 points or so, took a fourth to 14th, only 10 spots, was 40 points.
That's massive.
And I didn't know the gap was like that from those placements. 40 points. So you look at that. Amy Kringle is now third place. with a 28-point lead on Maddie Sturt, who we know might struggle with the overhead lunge. And I think Amy Kringle would shock me. She's been my shock from the women, at least from this heat. I didn't think she would do as good as she did.
I think with the machine, with that second bike, especially with it mattering so much, like I was watching Lucy, and then as soon as Amy got on the bike, I was like, all right, yeah, I was like, all right, okay. Like you just know she's going to crank it.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, you have Grace and you have Amy Kringle, and Alexis. I think Chase said her bike split on the last 40 was 1:51. I mean, that's a hard pace for me to hold. A really hard pace. Like at that point in the workout, just holding more than 20 calories a minute, that's impressive. But I feel like you have Kringle and you have maybe Grace and then everyone else. Like the level of how good they are at that specific machine is pretty crazy.
It's crazy that their bodies are so different too. Like Amy's a lot taller than Grace, a lot like more broad, that they're able to be so close to each other on a machine like that.
It's about a 73 RPM, 73, 74 RPM you're holding the whole time.
Yep.
Miriam Von Rohr, not a great one for her. She dropped, not quite like a bowling
not a
ball,
great one, but like
spots.
It looks like she can still finish in the top 10, which is really, really impressive for any rookie. I don't care who it is.
Absolutely.
We scroll down a small bit, Brad. Another little bit. There you go. So we got Lydia Fish just outside of 428. Lucy McGonigal still in 10th, but she clawed back up a little bit, like closed the gap. That was about 30 points. Now it's like 2. Claudia dropped a couple of spots. So a little bit of shifting inside the top 10, but also sort of separating themselves a little bit more from the pack that's behind. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to continue to see that. Event 9 is going to be the most volatile event of the games. And you don't know, like, as long as you get ahead of the cluster, you could make a serious jump. 5 seconds could be 10 spots. And I look at somebody like Danielle Brandon. Right, Danielle Brandon she's very athletic. She's pretty fast in any type of a run, and she's very powerful. I think Danielle Brandon can do extremely well in event 9, and potentially, I mean, we just said 10 spots was 40 points. She could potentially jump all the way up to fourth place.
Definitely.
After event 9.
Just go down to 12 and 13. Like Abby Doman and Alexis Raptis are probably going to crush that workout. They're just good. They're just good barbell cyclers. Brooke and Gracie, I would assume same thing. There's some more powerful athletes in a 3-minute workout to me that are a lot farther down the leaderboard versus the ones that are in the top 10 right now.
Is there a reason, do you think? So if we look at, we have Abigail Doman, Alexis Raptis, Brooke Wells, Grace Walton, Visa Gaffey, like people who a lot of people would have picked for their top 10, maybe even higher, like into the top 5. What is it, do you think, that's shifted them down? Is it just that the rookies are kind of outperforming them, and that maybe the workouts just don't suit them? I know we have that issue with Alexis's back. He apparently had a herniated disc per Talking Elite Fitness interview like yesterday. Right. So that's obviously playing a part. But I mean, it is different to see those names as low down as they are.
Yeah, and I mean, through 8 of 10 workouts, it's not like there's just some flukes in there. Like the dust is kind of settling into like, hey, this is probably going to be the top 10. Maybe one of those can sneak in. But yeah, I mean, I think it could be the programming. It could be, someone like Ariel, if you just have a specific thing you're not great at, like the parallel. If you're not good at pegboard, or you've maybe just got a situation where you just couldn't really do one, you got the failure. I mean, if you look at those names, if you have a handstand walk workout where you finish toward the bottom, like if you look at those names, they all have at least one event that was just like really, really bad.
Yeah.
And unless you're finishing in the top 5 on other events, it's really hard to get into that top 10.
You can sit out these next 5 seconds. Tia Toomey was just incredible to watch. Like, it was crazy how much she separated herself from everybody. And when she comes back on the yoke, you can't help but be like, she can't have done them all, surely. Like, she just got through all the handstand push-ups just so quickly.
Yeah. And I mean, the question we posed at the very beginning, is proven doing something different. I'm sure there's some methods they use that maybe other people don't. But I think also, too, they're just spending more time on parallettes, and I think Tia is just the best. What was telling to me is that, a lot of the media people that we're with were saying, like, in the back warm-up area, Tia's handstand push-ups look easier than all the guys. Like, that was a text that was sent in. Yeah. So when you get something like that, you're just,
I mean, she said herself at the end, I don't know if it went out on the broadcast or not, but it was played in-house where someone asked, hey, like, what's the depth? And she said, well, I've proven I use whatever the guys use, and I add some. It's just he's just built different, I guess.
I actually appreciate Tia's dominance in this event. I enjoy watching.
John read the
somebody-
comments last night. That's
No,
what
I
happened.
didn't. No, I didn't. I never read the comments because most of them hate me. I enjoy watching the best be the best. I just don't want you to be the best at everything. Like if it's the best at everything, it makes it boring for me.
Yeah, who wants to see someone redefine the sport and just change
She's
what's
already done it.
different?
It's
Yeah,
been
so let her
redefined.
continue to do it and continue to redefine it.
It's like
John,
reading the
this
same
is not a
chapter over
good
and over
take.
and over again.
This is not a good take.
I'm
just-
trying to give her props, and you're bringing it down. Just calm down, man.
You hate women. It's fine. All right, we'll move on to men. So John's happy.
I know I wanted to talk about Tia, but you shut it down.
You
Is
talked
there-
about her at length last night about how you're sick of dominance and you're sick of watching her win everything.
I was trying to explain how I really enjoyed this. I was going to give some insight, but you want to move on.
Go on,
ahead.
give your insights.
Who in this workout specifically were you surprised did really well for what you expected going in for the women?
I mean, Olivia Kerster's 9th, I think, is a really good score for her. It
Yeah.
keeps her in the top 10, keeps her battling. I mean, like solidly, I think she can finish in the top 10.
So was it
Right.
really Kringle for you that you just was?
Kringle was the biggest miss, I would say, for me. I didn't think she would be that like she was.
Like
And I
as
do
in
think
you
the
missed
second
it.
bike, yeah.
Yeah.
I do think she made up ground the second bike. I think she passed two scores from one Lucy McGonigal and another one from
Alexis
the previous
Rastus,
heat
yeah.
that she got by on the second bike just because she was more powerful. But no, she set herself up really, really well. I mean, having a 30-ish point lead going in with 2 events left when one of them's running,
Yeah.
I think you feel really good about yourself if you're Amy Kringle.
Lucy McGonigal last off the bike, I think. I'm pretty confident that. Second last or last off the first bike. And then is that just perfect pacing? She just knows her capacity on the handstand. I knew that she'd be able to make it up. Because, I mean, especially when you're 18 and you're out in that heat, like watching her come out first, and then you have Danielle Brandon coming after, Tia Toomey coming after. It's easy to become overawed and think, shit, I better keep up with these girls. But she just held her own pace on the bike, took her time. She took a good, 10, 15 seconds before she picked up the yoke. Is that just confidence in pacing?
But if you noticed, Colton was the last one off the bike. Austin was the last one off the bike. Like the people who were like, I know I'm the best insane push-upper here, TA excluded, we're all the last one off the bike. And then you had the big guys try to race, the big guys, girls try to race there to try to time it out. But no, I think she knew I'm awesome at parallel handstand push-ups. I'm not going to let anything affect that. And then when that gets done, I'll throttle it down.
Guys, Brad, not up yet. Okay. Well, we had a pretty electric finish on the guys' side. So they got off the bikes, headed down. Austin had a lead. There was
Thickly.
Yeah, there was kind of confusing, maybe breaking up of handstand push-ups sort of across all the lanes. Where do you think maybe, JR, is that just people trying to bite off more than they can chew? They just think, well, it's faster for me to break through 4 reps, even if I'm struggling, and then take 15 seconds. Is it just kind of panicking a bit?
So I think this workout has been out long enough for the athletes to at least have a couple sessions to kind of play around with what the best strategy is going to be. It was still relative to me, like the have and the have-nots of the men on that movement. There was still a huge discrepancy of the people who are the best versus the people who struggle to get through them at all, whether that's because of lack of training them or just because a very deep pressing movement like that's tricep dominant is just a weakness. I think a lot of them maybe went and said, okay, I'm going to try to do 10 sets of 3, or I'm trying to do sets of 5 the whole time. Oh, and then the next time they went out, I'm going to do a max set, and then I'm just going to do singles the rest of the time. What I think probably happened is they still got done within 10 seconds. It's almost just, you can choose whatever path you want to get there. As long as you don't get to failure, you're probably going to finish them in the same amount of time. And we saw a lot of different strategies. We saw some people come out with a big set, like I think Yana, and I think Enrico Zanoni
Colton,
did
not Colton, Austin
did 10 right off the bat, and then they started just doing descending sets, and by the end they were doing 1s and 2s. We saw Jason, I think, come out with 5. I think he did 5 for through 15, and then he fought through 4, fought through 4 again, fought through 3.
He was skirting with the line a few times of
And then just like fought for the final reps up until maybe 27 and then just did 3 singles. I think in training, once he tried to just do tiny sets the whole time. And I think he just knew like it really doesn't matter. But mentally, I do think it's easier to get a chunk out of the way and keep getting smaller and smaller versus like, okay, I have to do 3 this time. Okay, I have to keep doing 3. Oh, 3 felt hard. I really want to do 2s, but I have to do 3s. I think it's better to just kind of take your medicine, and then by the end, if you're doing 1 at a time, you're doing 1 at a time.
Especially if you're confident in what's coming after. If you know
Right.
that you're going to boss the machine.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, John, earlier on, so Austin comes off. JR turns to you and said he needs about 30 seconds. He got thereabouts, and he held on. It was pretty exhilarating watching the in-house on the leaderboard. You can see the calories, the difference between the guys, and you're just watching. You know, you've got Austin, Ricky, Jay, Jason, and then you got Dal and James coming afterwards. You can just see Jason's number just get closer to Ricky's, then he passed him out. Then closer to Jay's. I mean,
it was going up 3 for every one of Ricky's.
That's what
for
you want, though,
like
right?
20, for like a solid 20 seconds.
yeah.
They were going cow for cow, then all of a sudden Jason's went up 2 for every one of Ricky, and then it went up 3 for every one of Ricky and Jay. Then at this point he's on Jay, and just thank goodness Austin was that far ahead because I really do think.
Do you think Austin gets nervous when he sees Jason getting on? Is he like, oh shit?
All you can do is your best. He had a 15 cal lead.
I think he knew he still had it
because he did get off, and there was about 15 seconds or 10 seconds till Jason got off.
Yeah.
I do think 60 cals though.
I think his cushion was big enough.
It'd have been a different game.
What I could really appreciate, because from a programming standpoint, I thought, especially even for the men, that it was so handstand push-up bias that the bike would only come into play for a few spots here and there. After watching it and after watching lead changes in all 3 heats on the bike, I do think it was a pretty balanced workout because some of the guys that were the best at handstand push-ups really got exposed on the bike.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, like Colton's one of them. Justin.
Yeah,
Justin is one of them.
Is that machines? Just
I think
purely
so.
for Justin?
He's never been crazy power output on machines. Like any power output. I know this wasn't just that, but if it's just a bike sprint, he's never been that great.
Does it look bad for Justin because of how big and powerful everyone else in the heat was? Like, does it make it look worse than it actually was? The fact that he's in a heat with Dal and Jason.
I think if it was just the discrepancy on the bike, though, he would have had a higher finish. Like there had to have been something going on down there on the handstand push-up that maybe we weren't watching because we were watching the guys that were in the lead. I'd like to go back and look at what the handstand push-up split was for Justin, because going into it, I would have just assumed he would be one of the best at that movement.
Well, I mean, to counteract that, I think what happened to Justin is kind of what happened to Colton, but he is just not as good at handstand push-ups as Colton is. Like him and Austin came off the bike at the exact same time. They were both 220. Colton was 230, but they were the last ones off the bike. They were the last ones to get to the hand. Or Justin was the last one to get to the handstand push-ups. And so I think Colton blew up a little before he thought he was going to blow up because he was at 27 shaking his arms and then doing singles the rest of the way. If that happens to Justin and you're at 24 and then you have 6 singles, like I'm willing to bet his handstand push-up split was the same as Jason's or Roman's or Dallin's even. But it's just the gap in time was literally their bikes and yoke, even though the handstand push-ups were about the same.
How much of a part does this workout play in the last event with the thrusters and the overhead lunges? Have they got enough time to recover and just they'll be fine, or will it play? Is there a compounding effect between the two?
I think the totality of the weekend being a little bit on the press dominant side will just come into play more than just those 30 specifically. I do think that when it is a body weight movement and it's not something weighted, like they did the dumbbell shoulder to overhead on day 1. Had they done that right now on day 3, and had they had thrusters and the heavier dumbbell, I think it would have come into play more. But typically on the gymnastic stuff, it's not going to make you as sore.
Next event, we have our running. As John Young has said like 35 times, the most volatile event at the 2025 CrossFit Games. Why is it going to be so volatile, John? What's the issue with it? Is it just like congestion in the leaderboard?
Well,
is that what you're looking at?
Everybody can do the movements. It's running and snatching 155. I think most will go unbroken the whole time on the snatches, so not a ton of time can be made just by being a better snatcher. So then it's just your run cadence, right? And I think 15 spots are going to be within 10 seconds of each other. And if that's the case, and you're on the wrong side of those 10 seconds, that's 15 spots. Well, I mean, that's 60 points. 60 points. The difference of 10 seconds.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I look at event 6 with the vest and how you have to ski hard, you have to go unbroken on the chest of bars, and you have to do the burpee fast. In just a half a second every other burpee, right? Just that gap. Getting off the skier 10 seconds behind the other guys. Like, it ended up being, if you got on the wrong side of it, like Jason did on that workout, you look at the time and you're like, oh, he did pretty good. It was only like 10 or 15 seconds behind the winners, but it ends up being a 17th. So I think this workout is very similar to that, to event 6. It's a sprint for the most part. I mean, it's a sub 3-minute workout, and I think most guys are just going to be clumped up, especially the guys in the last heat at the top. This is a huge execution workout from the standpoint of discipline. When you do your turnaround on the shuttle run, do you kind of like turn lazy, or do you turn aggressively and accelerate out of the turn? Do you throttle at 25 feet? Do you start to slowly jog to the bar, or do you run all the way to the bar, 2 hands on the bar, not this right hand, left hand pull, all the little things like that, not standing up all the way and locking knees out and getting a no rep because you're trying to go touch and go. Those things are huge in a workout.
So it's going to make the guy who stops there, the girl who stops at the bar, takes a breath and then goes, is potentially dropping like 3 spots.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, pretty
because
volatile.
I don't think the shuttle run is long enough. Like, if it was a 400-foot shuttle run and they were going down back, there's enough running there to where you can really space out. Yeah. But because it's just a down and back right to the bar every time, it's going to be super tight.
Is it an execution workout then, or is it a running workout? Like, what matters more? Does the like, if you have guys coming out, is it? Hang on, let me ask you a different question first. It's under 3 minutes, around 3 minutes, you reckon?
Sub 3. Yeah.
Okay. So then, is it a case of you go and hang on for as long as you can, or like you can't really go out too hot? You just have to hang on.
This is not the workout that you can tell someone, yeah, I'm going to get faster as I go. I'm going to do negative splits. No, you start fast and you have to stay fast.
Okay.
Yeah, think how Fran feels. How Fran feels is how this workout's going to feel. How an 800 meter for time feels is how this workout's going to feel.
Okay. And then, is it your pace on the run, or is it the transitions? Is it like if everybody has the same pace on the run, it's going to be the separation of the guy who just grabs the bar and goes and drops the bar and goes? That's the person.
I think they're all doing that. I think it's just, do you want to run faster than the other guy? So now the shuttle part of it does play a little bit of a role, like how quick can you turn and accelerate. But I think it's only made up on the run. They're all going to go 6 unbroken snatches every single time. I think it's a running workout.
On the turn, on the shuttle runs, the most common turn we see is that sort of backwards 1 step. Is that what we're going to see here, or are they going to be going too fast to do that?
No, I mean, I think the people that are the most efficient on the shuttle run, they get their hips turned and they get, let's say, their right leg going back and they touch with the right. And then maybe on the next one, they do it the opposite way. So they get their hips turned and they get their left leg back and touch. So they're almost down in that track start position every single time, and they're not doing the kind of like a grapevine back step and then touching with the same side. It's kind of an awkward look. Yeah.
Girls, John, who do you reckon for this one? Heat 1, who would be your picks?
I wouldn't pick against Tia. I mean, I think Tia might go 3 for 3 on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah. It's funny. I think people expected her to win a lot more than she has, but I think this will be a dominant. Like, this is the Tia Toomey that we thought.
Hopefully she gets a push. I think it's too short not for her to get a push, but I still like Lucy to give her that push on this one.
Yeah, well, I actually think Tia will pull Lucy into giving her that push. Like, if Lucy was on lane 10 and Tia's in the middle, I don't know if it happens. But the fact that they're right beside each other, Lucy's not going to run slower than Tia. And then Tia might snatch a little bit better, be more efficient. But, like, Lucy's going to be right there with. It's hard to let her get away if you are also very fast and very fit. You're not just going to let her go.
Right.
Is there anyone lower down or in any of the earlier heats or anything that you think people need to look out for on this?
I think Danielle Brandon will have a very good finish in this event. I think, like JR alluded to, Abby Doman, but I do think the run is more important than just being powerful. Like, I like Danielle more than Abby Doman in this workout.
Just as a person.
No, not as a person, but you set me up for that.
JR, do you agree there with Tia being the one to watch? Lucy, Danielle, those pushers, or anybody else?
Yeah, for sure. I also look at this workout. It's a little bit sneaky on the low back. So whenever you do shuttle runs, especially for higher reps, a lot of people will complain that, oh, my low back blew up. Some of that I think is the efficiency when you're bending over every time. But you're hinging 30 times, you're doing it touch and go on the barbell, and you still have the turnaround every time. You know, some people when they run a lot, they just say, oh man, my low back's getting tired, my low back's blowing up. It'll be, to me, interesting if you see that kind of awkward running position. Just people kind of blowing up. Either they're blowing up in their legs or they're just blowing up in their back. Like, this is going to get lactic for sure.
You know who I think is a sneaky pick if you wanted to live dangerously? Haley Adams.
I think it's a great pick. And I think when this workout came out, it said like, hey, she will just grab the bar no matter how bad she's hurting and just keep touching, just keep cycling it. Yeah. This is a very gritty workout.
She's going to be fast.
I don't think people who are a little bit reluctant to go there and go dark, I don't think they do well on this workout. I think you have to want to hurt.
And who would you say those people are on the women's side?
I don't know.
Brad, can you put up the men's workout there just for a sec? We'll go through our picks. So for the men, wow, I'm out of focus. That's so good for all the viewers that they can just look at you and JR.
I think we're all out of focus a little bit.
The leaderboard, Brad. Leaderboard, sorry. My mistake. It's not my mistake. I just want Brad to feel a bit better about himself. He's working hard.
Hey, what do you guys think about this? I asked John when I came in this morning. There are going to be a handful of athletes on the male and female side that have not done a ring muscle up in competition the entire 2025 season. 4 of them off the top of your head are Austin Hatfield, Colton Mertens, Abby Domet, and Fisa Goffi. If you didn't do the online and affiliate semi, you didn't do them. And if you were one of the IPQEs that didn't program them, you didn't do them to get here, and then they're not going to do them at the games. It's just something.
Did Bronislaw do them? They have them at Prince Throwdown?
Lucy did them. I remember Lucy did them, I think. I'm pretty sure
but it's just something to think about. You know, it's not that movement specifically is like if you ask someone, what do you think of when you think of CrossFit? A lot of people be like, oh yeah, that thing on the rings where they're like pull themselves all the way up, you know.
It's not even the games, it's the whole season.
Right.
The open semifinal.
Well, they exported all or they
that being said, before people in the comments, yes, I do still think it's a little bit I think there's more pressing overall in this competition than pulling. I think if they would have done ring muscle up, it would have swung it even more. I think rope climb was the move.
So we need to get off now in a second because the teams are going to go on. Just quickly, got Jason Hoppers ahead, 6:35. Ricky Garrard,
18-point lead.
Yeah. Thanks. I was never going to get there. James Sprague behind them, and then
25
the gap. 86 up to 92 is the gap there. Jay Crouch is kind of still knocking on the door. Dallon's only a point off him. There is not a lot of separation when you look at third place down as far as
6th. We've actually had some guys drop out, though. It did go all the way to 9.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching Jeff Adler retire as we go further through the work. He's retiring in real time.
We really are. It's kind of
push
sad,
down there to 12th, and we'll see the gap between Harry and people below.
But Justin, I did not think he would be as bad as he was, even though he did do really bad. He's out of the running, I think, for the podium.
Great workout for Tudor Magda. Really lofted himself up there with that. He set the time to beat early doors. So we have Colton, like maybe an outside shot at breaking into the top 10. That would be his best ever finish. Where like 19th to 18th? Is that his best ever today?
Yeah.
So he has potential there. I mean, he's going to get his best ever, provided he doesn't completely shit the bed, but he has potential to improve it on even more. We got to jump off. We got the teams coming out for the next workout. A guy's pick for this before we leave?
I like John's pick of Ricky, and I really like James.
I like James a lot, too. Ricky and James, are the immediate thoughts in my head.
I feel like Ricky will just go until the wheels come off and then just keep going.
And
Well,
he
and
will push the pace on
And the fact that he did what he needed to do in event 8, like he can win the games. If you're Ricky and you can win the games and there's a running workout, you're not going to sell your soul.
This is actually a good point. First, there's no withdrawal. There isn't even a whiff of a withdrawal. And there was a lot of talk on Thursday.
That's a P1 prop.
There's a lot of talk on Thursday about like, oh, this person's not feeling well. This person, like, if Alexis Raptors can make it through with a broken spine, I think we're all okay. Her spine isn't broken.
It's a disc.
It's hyperbolic.
Like a Frisbee.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks very much. We're going to be back after the next event. You can tune in and watch the teams if you give a shit, and you can come back and watch the individuals after that.
Teams race is actually really, really close. It's really exciting between Mayhem and Oslo and Butcher's Lab.
I like teams because of Angelo De Chico.
Same.
Yeah. All right, Brad, play us out.
I cracked the code. I pulled the 6 trays out of the kitchen dehydrator 18 months ago. I took all of the beef chips straight to Las Vegas, found my friends, forced them to eat beef chips. I got 100% positive feedback rate, and I knew from that moment that I had to bring this product to the market. Everything in the market is just confusing, diluted, and that's what made us make this product. 3 ingredients, no bullshit. Beef, garlic salt, red pepper flakes, that's it. Cutting through the noise and giving the customers what they want. A clean label with the most protein-dense nutrient snack that you can get on the market. The approach that we're taking is substituting the standard chips, the oil, the fried chips with these. It's a remarkably similar texture and feel and thickness, but you get all of the upside of the nutritional aspect of it, and you get the satiety of filling your stomach with something that's actually good for you.